Friends, have you ever heard of a bank where no one has ever been able to rob it? Anyone who tried was killed. But one day, a dangerous gang attempts to rob that very bank. The movie ends with a twist that will completely shock you. Friends, the name of this movie is Den of Thieves. The story is set in Los Angeles, known as the bank robbery capital. Here, there are about 2,400 robberies a year, 44 a week, and nearly 11 every single day. At the very beginning of the movie, we see a police truck driving down the road at night. The truck stops in front of a restaurant, and the guards step out to grab some food. Just then, 2 cars pull up, and 5 armed criminals attack the truck. All of them are wearing masks. The truck driver immediately alerts the backup team that they're under attack. The criminals point their guns at the officers and start shooting right away. Since the driver doesn't come out, they shoot him through the windshield and kill him. A little later, the police backup arrives and opens fire. The criminals fire back, and in the gunfight, one of them gets killed, while the other 4 escape with the truck. These men are the Merriman gang. The core members of this crew are Merriman, the leader, Levo, Bosco, Donnie, and Mac. Levo is a retired Navy SEAL, so his skills are top-notch. Bosco is the hot-headed one. Donnie works as a bartender, which gives him access to all the information flowing around the city. Since everyone comes to drink at his bar, Donnie gathers the details he needs from them. That's why he always knows what's happening and where in the city. Mac was Donnie's friend and the team's network engineer. He kept an eye on everything from a distance, handled hacking, and guided them through wireless communication. Mac joined the crew after becoming friends with Donnie. Back at their hideout, Merriman gets angry at Bosco. He says, "Firing wasn't part of our plan. Why did you shoot?" Bosco replies, "That cop was reaching for his gun, so I fired at him." Merriman snaps, "We killed cops, and that's a major crime. This all happened because of you. Now you'll go check out what's going on and which officers showed up." So Bosco drives off and begins monitoring everything from a distance. The next morning, several police officers arrive for the investigation. Among them is Nick, a ruthless and reckless senior officer. Nick has a wife and 2 young daughters. His team is part of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department's Special Forces Unit. Nick asks his team how many officers were killed. They tell him 4 are dead and 6 are in the hospital. Nick then wants to know what was inside the truck. The police informed him that the truck was completely empty. Nick realizes that stealing an empty truck isn't a random robbery. The criminals already had all the information. Airspace was shut down that night. The roads were clear, and they knew the truck was empty. This is a clear sign that they're planning something much bigger. From a distance, Bosco keeps watching everything and takes photos of the new police officers. Later, he shows all the photos to Merriman, who realizes they need to be even more careful. Nick brings his team back to the office and tells them to analyze the CCTV footage and all the information. They discover that Merriman was released from prison only 8 months ago. Nick immediately figures out that Merriman is the mastermind behind this whole thing. Nick asks about Merriman's current location, but no one knows. Later, he goes to the bar where Donnie works as a bartender. After the bar closes, Nick stays behind with Donnie alone. He knocks Donnie out and takes him to a hotel. When Donnie wakes up, he says, "You've got the wrong guy. I'm not a criminal." Nick shows him the police records of his past crimes: illegal, car races, attempted murder, and more. Nick questions Donnie about his connection with Merriman. Donnie pretends not to know and says, "I don't know him. I have no connection with him." Nick, furious, warns him, "I don't care if you live or die." Donnie, struggling to breathe but still showing courage, replies, "I'm just a driver. Even if you hand me a gun, I wouldn't know what to do with it." Nick presses further, "Then why did you guys steal that empty truck?" Donnie answers, "I don't know anything. They know that if I ever get caught by the cops, I'd spill everything. That's why they never share their full plans with me." Nick doesn't believe him and threatens him again, warning he'll kill him. Finally, Donnie admits, "A few months ago, they all came to the bar. I served them drinks, we talked, and I told them I needed money. That's when they gave me a job." Nick asks, "Who gave you the job?" Donnie answers, "Merriman." Donnie explains that Merriman noticed his driving skills. Merriman gave him a car to test his driving, and later made him steal at a stadium party. Nick asks, "What did you do with the stolen money?" Donnie replies, "I don't know. They don't tell me much." Nick decides, "We won't take you to jail. But you'll keep working with them as you do now, and whatever they're planning, you'll report everything to me. Nick carefully sneaks back into his house. The night before, he mistakenly sent a message meant for his girlfriend to his wife. That's why he tiptoes in and grabs something from the fridge. His wife suddenly appears, and they start arguing. In the end, she leaves with their 2 daughters. Meanwhile, Merriman picks Donnie up at 8 a.m. and takes him to the front of the Los Angeles Federal Reserve Bank. Merriman says, "What you're looking at is the city's reserve bank, the only bank that has never been robbed." He then takes the team into an empty building next to the bank. He explains, "Every street around here has sound detectors and cameras. If you look at the bank for 2 minutes, security will notice. The second time, you'll end up in prison." So far, there have been 53 robbery attempts, and all failed. Merriman has accepted the challenge, and the crew agrees. Merriman breaks down the bank's security system. At the gate, IDs are checked, and full body scans are done. Every person's data and crime history is already stored. In the basement, all the incoming cash is recorded by serial number. Later, damaged or old bills are destroyed by machines. Nearly $50 million are shredded every day. Merriman says, if we can steal that $50 million before it gets destroyed, it will belong to us. The next day, Donnie disguises himself as a delivery boy and enters the bank. He carries 2 parcels. He hands one to a woman and hides the other inside the ceiling tunnel of the bank's bathroom, which will be used later. That night, Levo goes to dinner with his friends and family. Nick's team shows up there too. Nick speaks with Donnie and mentions their earlier meeting. This makes Merriman's crew suspicious, and they start thinking Donnie might be working with the police. Merriman gets angry, points a gun at Donnie, and demands the truth. Donnie admits, "Nick took me in one day. He already knows everything about us, but he's just waiting for the robbery to happen." Merriman then declares, "We're doing the heist this Friday. The date won't change." Later, Donnie meets Nick at a clothing store. Furious, Donnie says, "Why did you tell everyone that you knew me? Now they all suspect me, and I was nearly killed because of it." Nick asks, "When will the heist happen?" Donnie replies, "On Friday, you won't be able to stop them." "I don't know the exact location. I only know it's happening Friday." Nick goes to a bar where Merriman's girlfriend is dancing. While chatting with her, he learns which bank Merriman plans to rob. Nick is pleased with the intel, but in reality, Merriman intentionally uses his girlfriend to feed false information to Nick. Meanwhile, the Merriman gang is fully armed and ready for the heist. They hit a bank, but it's not the Federal Reserve. Their real plan lies elsewhere. Nick and his team watch from their car outside. Inside, the gang takes everyone hostage. Through the manager, they demand $10 million and a helicopter filled with fuel. The FBI soon arrives, which frustrates Nick because it ruins his approach. To pressure the FBI, Merriman orders one hostage taken into another room to be executed. The FBI finally agrees to his demands, but the demand for $10 million and a helicopter isn't their real plan. Merriman's true target is something else. He even calls Nick and warns, "You'll never catch us. We're going through with this." Then he hangs up. At the same time, Mac hacks into the Reserve Bank S system and discovers that money is being transferred from other banks into the Federal Reserve. This is the moment the Merriman gang had been waiting for. Merriman takes the manager to the bank's vault. Suddenly, there's an explosion. The police assume the vault has been blasted, but in reality, the gang blew a tunnel. Their plan is to use this tunnel to reach the Federal Reserve. Nick rushes toward the Federal Reserve alone. When he gets inside, he finds all the hostages unharmed. The robbers had staged everything just to keep the police from storming in. Meanwhile, old bills are being delivered to the Reserve Bank. Merriman and Levo, disguised as security guards, drive in the stolen truck they had modified to look identical to the bank's real truck. The cash boxes pass through the gate inspection and enter the bank. Counting agents start processing the boxes. Inside one of the boxes is Donnie, carrying a signal jammer. When he turns it on, the CCTV cameras capture nothing. Donnie climbs out and begins stuffing the money into plastic bags. The plan is to slip the cash out with the garbage truck. He works quickly as the control room has already noticed the cameras are down. Meanwhile, the counting agents check the boxes and see everything looks normal. Merriman instructs Levo to leave. They drive the truck out of the bank. Donnie quickly slips through the AC tunnel into the bathroom and delivers the food package he had hidden the day before to the woman. Fooling security, he exits again, making it look like he was just a delivery boy. In this way, the whole crew successfully leaves the Federal Reserve Bank. Now comes the main step, retrieving the money from the garbage truck. Bosco intercepts the truck, but to their shock, the money is gone. The truck carrying the cash had been diverted elsewhere. Nick's team captures Donnie. They believe he has been double-crossing them, so they rough him up. Donnie reveals the truth about Merriman's current location. But traffic slows Merriman down, and with the police close behind, a deadly standoff begins. Both sides draw their guns, and a shootout breaks out. Nick shoots Bosco in the head, killing him. Levo is badly injured, and Merriman also takes bullets. In the end, Nick fatally shoots Merriman before dying. Merriman says, "I proved that robbing the Federal Reserve is possible." Nick returns to the getaway car, but Donnie has already vanished. When they check the truck, they only find shredded cash scattered everywhere. Nick is puzzled how could such intelligent criminals make such a huge mistake. Later, at the gang's hideout, Nick finds that all the robbers are dead. Only Donnie survived and managed to escape. The next day, Nick visits the bar where Donnie used to work, but the manager tells him Donnie quit 2 days ago. Nick sits at the bar drinking a beer and notices that Federal Reserve employees used to come here as regular customers. That's when it hits him Donnie was the real mastermind. He had used the bar to gather information and carefully planned the entire heist. He intentionally fed information about the Merriman gang to the police to cover his own tracks. Donnie smuggled the stolen money in tire shipments to London and fled there himself. In the final scene, we see Donnie working again as a bartender in London. A man from the London Diamond Exchange walks in, and Donnie offers him a free drink. It becomes clear that Donnie's next target is the London Diamond Exchange, and that's where the movie ends. Now, please subscribe to my new channel and stay tuned.